I'm Gareth Thomas, the President and CEO of Westhaven Gold Corp. Going from Australia here to Canada and British Columbia. There's a look at our property in southwestern British Columbia as mentioned. Today I'll be talking about our our flagship property, our Shovelnose, where we just announced our highest grade gold-silver intercept ever, 23 meters of 37 grams per ton gold. We'll be making some forward-looking statements, so please keep that in mind. Here's a look at the map of BC for those of you who aren't overly familiar with the area. Our main office is there in Vancouver, and there you'll see a look in that gold is our what's called the Spences Bridge gold belt. It's about 150 kilometer long Cretaceous gold belt. This happens to be in, as I'll show you on a map here coming up, very much in porphyry country. So for us, sort of the first movers on this belt and relatively new and emerging gold belt. As mentioned there, the 23 meters of 37 grams per ton. But what really got this property going was in late 2018, we drilled 17.7 meters, 24.5 grams per ton gold. And that, needless to say, that kind of kicked off this area in a big staking rush. We just announced a major milestone for Westhaven. We announced initial maiden resource in January. Combined 1.1 million ounces of both indicated and inferred, 75% of that being in the indicated, 841,000 ounces. And that's just, put it in perspective, that's just a very small area where this resource is coming from. This new big drill intercept came 2 kilometers away from there. So we're seeing, fast forwarding here, by this time next year, we think we're well on our way to 2+ million ounces. As mentioned, district scale potential. We have 3 other properties, but I'll be sticking to the Shovelnose today. And another key point here, us insiders own about 25% of the shares outstanding, so very well aligned with shareholders. Won't stick too much on this right now, just a little look, about 127 million shares. We're sitting at about an $80 million market cap today. Cash looks a little low there, but we have another $2 million coming in from our exploration tax credit where we happen to work in BC here. We get 20% back on every hard dollar spent and an additional 10% based on pine beetle kill. So 30% back on every hard dollar we receive the following year. Few institutions and funds there, plethora of precious metals, Merck, Franklin, Gold 2000. And we do have analyst coverage by Raymond James and Red Cloud Securities. Here's a better, more zoomed in look of the area. You'll see our Shovelnose down there to the right of your screen, down to the southeast. Our flagship, like I said, we'll talking more about that. And then we should note we have a 2.5% NSR on 70,000 hectares, which is owned by a group called Talisker. You'll notice Highland Valley Copper, that's Canada's largest open pit mine. So very good jurisdiction here, tier 1 jurisdiction. You also have New Afton producing to the north there with New Gold, and down to the south there you'll see Copper Mountain was also in production. So once again, sort of porphyry country, but we happen to stumble across this very prospective gold belt. I won't talk too much here, just being cognizant of time, but we firmly believe this Fraser River Gold Rush, which really formed the province of British Columbia, we believe the source of that placer has never been sourced. We believe the lode deposit is coming from one of these things on the Spences Bridge Gold Belt. So yeah, interesting, but we believe it's coming off of one of our properties. Here we are looking at the Shovelnose Gold Property. Excellent infrastructure. We're a 2.5-hour drive from the city of Vancouver, right off a major highway. You see the Coquihalla Highway. Our claims actually go over that. Power line to the north there, hydropower. We actually have power right on this property. Heavily logged, over 450 kilometers of roads here. And we've been all year round. We've been working here since January 15th. So can't say enough. I sound like a broken record sometimes, but it's very key for our success here. Look at our, touch on that, our mineral resource, as mentioned there, the 841,000 ounces in the indicated category, looking at a grade of 2.47 grams per ton equivalent. and that's 7 times our cutoff grade, which is exceptional for our first go here. And as you'll see here on our next slide, just a small area of what we're drilling right now. There's a look at the South Zone perceived pit there. You'll see in the red, that's our vein zone 1. That actually continues all the way up to the far left of your screen, upper left there, the Franz. That's a high-grade outcrop we discovered just late in 2020. We drilled, you see there, almost 8 meters of 15 grams, but that continues on vein zone 1. Vein zone 2 in blue you'll see there. Then you'll just see vein zone 3 slightly there as well. So FMN, I don't think it says a pointer. FMN there is key. That's where we drilled the 23 meters at 37 grams. So 2 kilometers away from this resource. So right now we have our drill focusing heavily on FMN, tighten up our drill spacing, and another drill in the Alpine there, heading towards the FM, kind of converging. So 2 rigs, which I'll show you here on this long section here. So as you see, very sparsely drilled areas between the FMN and the South Zone. So that's what we're focusing on now. We think that's our best value add for shareholders at the moment. And we'll also be drilling between the Franz and FMN there as well. We just did about a 4-week geophysical survey there. We did some DC resistivity, which often helps us, aids in targeting here. Most of this is sort of not a lot of outcrop here, so we got to be look for other ways to see what we might be targeting, but really drilling's the best way to do that. So yeah, two drills right now and likely to move to a third here shortly. That's just a look at the cross section of that recently announced, our best drill intercept ever. And you can actually see there's an uppercut there in hole 211, which often gets overshadowed, but we drilled about 36 meters of almost 4 grams per ton gold there as well. And we will have news here shortly within the next week or so with follow-ups to these holes. And as we move to the southeast, we're seeing some pretty interesting things there too. So stay tuned for that. Here's a look at the second zone, once again, not to be overshadowed by our vein zone 1, but here's a look at the Alpine, where in February we announced 8 meters at 20.2 grams per ton gold. And within there we had 3 meters of 45 grams per ton gold. This is not in the resource, so very exciting to have this new intercept. It's very shallow dipping, shallow close to surface as well. So we're continuing to drill around here. We're used to seeing more lower grade, broad sort of halos here. So this is very interesting and a bit of a shock to us to see this type of grade here. And we were also, we were ending our holes in mineralization as well, but we're still sort of sleuthing out what might be happening there. Just a bit of an arm waiver here for some that may not be overly familiar with these low sulfidation epithermal deposits. Hishikari is obviously one of the best ones in the world, and this was actually brought to our attention by Sumitomo. This isn't ours. They said, just looking at the rock we have on our property, and Sumitomo's been up there for years just out of sheer curiosity, but they said the strength of our system, they truly believe that this could be, there's going to be a lot more of these vein swarms on the property, and most of our project, most of the Shovelnose property and a lot of our other 3 properties are still very underexplored. This is a new area, a lot of work to be done here yet. So though we've drilled about 100,000 meters in the last 3 years here, there's going to be a lot more exploration work to be done here. Just look at the management there, as I do have a bit of time. Peter Fischel, speaking of low sulfidation epithermal systems, Peter came. We were very, very fortunate to get Peter from Kinross. He spent 12 years at Kupol from back in the discovery days with Bema right through to production. And Peter's been instrumental in getting us from seeing interesting looking gold to where we are today. So and I should announce I just added Paul McRae to our board of directors, who comes from Lundin Gold as well. Very much an engineering background, so we're lucky to have Paul as well. And just some upcoming catalysts. As mentioned, we have news coming out within a week, either next couple days or early next week. And following up on this 23 meters at 37 grams per ton gold, as mentioned. And Yeah, lots of news to come, and that's at this point we're still very much a drill bit story, but we're also be looking to add some of these holes into a resource in the next year as well. So thank you very much for your time, and enjoy the rest of the show.